So a lot hasn't really changed from the last time we have spoke. I do want to commend the players of their participation in this phase. It really shows a sign that the guys are all in, and the phase has been good up to this point. Also, last time I talked to you guys, I reiterated exactly how we operate within these phases as far as the install is concerned. And the one thing that we've really been focused on is the detail and the execution about how we go about doing things. Because obviously the physical part is something that you just can't do within these phases. So, man, just making sure that we're on point with everything we're trying to do when it comes to the execution has been good. Just to give you guys a little insight exactly how we've been operating this week. So yesterday, we focused on really a 3rd and 2 to 6 day, which for the most part, I expect our offense to win a lot of those, which is usually tough for a defense. So defense, if we can get within 50% of that, you really do a really good job. Today will be more 3rd and 7 plus, which again it flips. So the advantage should be defense in this situation, and the offense got to work their ass off to really get first downs in this. So, I want to really work those situations, make sure we get good at those situations. Then come tomorrow, we'll have a phase 2 day, and then Thursday we get right in the red zone. So we're really hitting some situations this week, which is really good for our guys. And again, the detail and the execution of it is what we've been focused on. So, in saying that, any questions?
In a practice setting, what do you want to see from the quarterbacks in a 3rd and 7 situation as far as weighing risks?
Yeah, again, usually when you just look at the numbers, that's a more of an advantage of defense. So as many times as we can get completions in that to getting the first down, get our first downs is what we're really looking for. And actually just knowing exactly where to go with the ball and making sure we just don't put ourselves in a situation where we make mistakes of giving the ball to the defense.
How has it been different for you now that you're doing competitive stuff, you're calling defense, as opposed to last year? And how are you balancing, I know last year you wanted to be everywhere.
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
Well, that's a good question, and that's why I lean on Duker quite a bit. The one thing I don't want to do is just try to give myself to the defense, because I'm still coaching the team, and throughout the practice I still will go to the offense and I see what guys are doing, the individual and things like that. But once we get into competitive periods, man, that's when I have the mic and actually talk to our mic backers as far as what I want to call on defense. So I do the best I can of making sure that my time is shared on both parts. But once it comes to the part where we get in competitive periods, man, I got to be dialed in on what I'm calling and make sure that I put our guys in a good position to win those reps.
Aaron, how, if at all, does Russell Wilson's decision to go into TV affect what you guys might do at that?
Nothing at all. I think the last time we talked, I had said that we were looking at a number of quarterbacks, and and that's just what it was. I mean, I hopefully he'll have a good TV career. Heck, I know that he'll be good at it. And congrats to him.
DeMario last week said Anjuman is one of the top 5 run stuffers he's ever played with. Why has been so effective?
Mentality. That's when it comes to the run game, it's 2 things that really sticks out when you look at a defense, and that's attitude and desire. And those are 2 things that he has, and those are really easy for him. He's tough. He's physical. He understands how to use his hands. He does a really good job at 2-gapping and gap and a half. And one of the reasons why, because he plays with extension, he's able to get off blocks. So it's pretty easy for him to actually operate in that manner because of who he is. So that doesn't surprise me that Double D said that.
When you look at Minkah, what do you expect to see out of him and what to bring that secondary?
Very similar to what I expect out of Double D, a veteran presence, not just with the secondary, but just overall with the team. And he's done a good job of that. Also, playmaking ability. I mean, he's done that through the course of his career, so I don't expect that to change at all. And that's one of the reasons why we got him here. We want guys that can get their hands on the ball. We want guys that can make plays. And we also want guys that when things break down, have the instincts to get us right back where we need to be to give us another chance to have another play. And he's done that throughout his career, so I expect him the same.
You have a few guys like that now.
Yeah.
Minkah, DeMario, you mentioned Harrison, guys that are recognized as leaders in on and off the field. Is that like a conscious effort by you guys to bring those type of guys in?
Absolutely. I think we've spoken on that quite a bit. And that was really my plan from the very beginning, going into this offseason, to make sure I surround some of these young guys with guys like that. I think it's important when you're trying to build a team that you have a good mix of that, so the young guys can learn. And as they learn, they continue to pick those things up. And as they grow older, they're able to pass those things down to the other young guys. And to me, that's exactly how you want your team to be built. So, and it's not just on the defensive side, because I know you named some defensive players, not that, but even on the offensive side, we want to make sure we had guys like that. And I mean, that's what Geno does a good job of. He's been around for a long time. He understands how this league works. He's matured quite a bit. So, like all those guys, excited to have them around, what they bring to the team.
What have you seen as far as Minkah's leadership style? Is he more so a vocal leader, or do you see him more so leading by example?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. But he does have this knack of being, I don't want to say to himself, but bringing somebody, like one-on-one conversations with a guy, especially if a guy makes a mistake. He does a really good job of pulling the guy to the side and explaining exactly what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it. And then he does a good job when he has to, when it's a group of men that he wants to talk to. He does a good job of actually galvanizing those guys and explaining exactly what we're trying to do also. So he has a little bit of both within himself.
You played until you were 36, so you understand like the physical challenges of an older player in this league. So how do you explain Demario Davis, what he's doing at 37? He never misses.
God-given, and it's not for everybody. And it's you have to give him a lot of credit. And all these guys, Harrison, Geno, all those guys that can play into their mid to upper 30s, the way that they take care of their body and how serious they are about their game, and making sure that they're there and they're accountable for being on the field for their teammates. So, again, a lot of it's God-given, but also you have to give those guys a lot of credit for how they treat their bodies as far as recovery is concerned.
AG, you got Adonai Mitchell at the midstream last year here at the course. How excited are you to see him have a full offseason and kind of get everything offense?
Very excited. One, to make sure that him and Geno create this connection. Him and Garrett creates this connection. Him and the offensive coordinator create the connection, and him understand exactly like how we're trying to build this thing from the very beginning. And for him to hear that message over and over again has been good for him. Man, he's a talented player, a very talented player, and we want to squeeze every ounce of elite of his athleticism to where he can help us and be able to make big plays for us, because he has that ability.
I don't even think he played with Garrett at all last year. So is there some kind of value to him getting those reps without Garrett now that Garrett's back? Opening things up a little bit.
The value with that is those guys actually being together for the most part, because they can play off each other. They can understand each other's game. And when they're on the field together, just knowing exactly how each other runs their routes. So, man, they could actually play off each other, especially when they're in situations when you have slot formation, they're all on the same side, and how they're going to run these certain routes so they can get open for each other, So, again, having him, this whole time has been outstanding for us.
Take a couple more.
We didn't talk to you after the schedule came out. I don't think we asked you last week. Did you have any reactions to the schedule? Is there anything you look at when that comes out?
Play who they give us.
You were one of, I think, 4 or 5 teams didn't get a primetime game. Do you use that at all with your team to say lack of respect or anything like that?
To me, it's more of you earn the right. And yes, you can use that as motivation, but you earn the right. That's what this league, that's the good thing about this league. You earn your right. Players, coaches, everybody, you earn your right to get what you get in this league.
What was Josh Myers? Why was it so important for you to re-sign him?
Another guy that we just spoke of veteran leadership, a guy that's been around this league that started a ton of games. And he played well for us last year, so you reward a guy like that.
And how about Geno's leadership? What have you learned about
observed about his leadership?
Well, no different than what I talked about last time we were together, and his ability to command the huddle, his ability to get guys in and out the huddle, his ability to be himself more than anything else, and be able to talk vocally, be able to let his actions speak, and to be able to be an influence as far as how he operates and how he goes about things. So, again, all those guys have similar traits when it comes to that. And listen, I'm lucky to have them.
Okay, last one.
I think Bowles said you guys are going to do joint practices with Tampa.
Yep.
And any other games, the Giants and the Steelers? Or?
No, that'll be it. That'll be it. We have joint practices with Tampa. We have 2 practices with those guys, and looking forward to that. That's a damn good team to have joint practices against.